So let's start with ugly content. What do we think ugly content looks like? So it's ugly. Well, I'll give you an example of some ugly content. And this is just for effect. Yeah, exactly. You hear what she said? Now, keep that in mind. We're going to talk about that in a minute. No, it's okay. She got one for you. So what this is considered ugly content. But what was your first reaction? Oh. So what did that create? An emotion. A pretty good emotion, right? What was it, 2 seconds after you received it? That's emotion. Good content. I use that word good loosely. It's actually ugly content. The reason why it's ugly is this was a huge hoax throughout the entire world. Somebody posted that online on a blog post or whatever, and that link went to a virus when you clicked on it. And it affected everybody's computer.
Wow.
Example of ugly content. Great idea, it created great emotion, which made it great content, but it was ugly, right? Nasty, nasty, nasty. But it was very effective, and it got the reaction that the author wanted.
Was this email?
It went out through a blog post, and I think people emailed the link out to everybody, so look at this little kid, what they did. Oh yes, I'm going to click on it. Oh damn, there went my computer. Not good, right? An example of ugly content. So all these other hoaxes. There was another big hoax. I don't know if anybody in here recalls it, but it was a hoax about a plane that landed or crashed into a bridge. Did we hear about that? Anybody here hear about that? Mm-hmm. Huge. It was a month or two ago. Somebody took a picture of a 747 hanging off the Golden Gate Bridge or something like that. Looked real as hell. It was fake. It went viral. Everybody was sending links out, and so what did the bad people do? They found this is an easy distribution system, so they attached a virus to it. So now it got passed out. They created their delivery system, all because we played on emotions, right? And we all know in human, I'm not no counselor or anything, but we play a lot. We make a lot of decisions on emotions, right? So emotions are very, very important. And I keep saying emotions because that's what we're going to start getting into here with content. Okay? So that's some examples of some really ugly content. So let's talk about bad content. What do we think bad content is? Any suggestions?
Maybe false information.
Exactly. Inaccurate information is bad content. Again, on the surface, it's good because it's providing information, but it's actually inaccurate. And a lot of companies do this. They want to put something out there because they're being pressured to put Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever it is. So they rush to put this stuff. So what is the first reaction they do? And that's the number 2 bad thing. They take something somewhere else, they copy it and paste it, and they give it to you. Without exactly plagiarism, whatever we want to call it, stealing content, copyright infringement, borrowing, whatever it is, and it's wrong content. Because they don't take the time to think it, do it themselves, they give it to somebody else and give it to you. I call this, it's good initiative, bad judgment, right? That's what I call that. So they're trying to do a good thing, but it's actually bad because it's actually inaccurate information. They didn't take the time to look at it. Or they'll purposely put, not purposely, but just put outbound content from grabbing it from somewhere else. They'll just put that information out because they think they're right. How many people have ever talked to somebody that they just absolutely know they're right? No matter what anybody else says, though, they're right. Yeah, right. That's funny. There are exceptions to that rule, Tom. So, those are the people that are going to put out this stuff that they think they're absolutely correct, but there's no proof that whatever they have, the information they have is actually correct. So they put that out. Being offensive or sarcastic. We all know some of them people, right, Tom? We know one of those guys. Yeah. Being very sarcastic, being demeaning, degrading. You'll see Facebook posts or you'll see, videos out there or whatever it is that just put this nasty stuff and you start hammering people, or you talk negative about another company, or you get something that was wrong from a company, so you blast them on Facebook just to purposely try and degrade them. All that content is bad content, and you don't want it associated with you at all. Because you can do, what is it? You can do 99 attaboys, but 1 O, kind of ruins everything. So that's another rule, right? What's that?
And that's what we've done,
Exactly. And it's like in the IT world. I've been in IT for 20 some years. You can be perfect all day long. You get one problem, everything else you've done goes out the window. It's the same thing with marketing. You know, you can make a company tons of money, get their brand there, create a great identity, everything, and one bad thing happens, everything else you did good goes away. So it's very important. Stay away from that content. Here's one that's on the fence, being too obscure or too unique, right? You would think that's a good thing. It's not a good thing, it's a bad thing. And the reason is in marketing it's good, being very unique, but what you do is you limit your audience too much. So you cap out. You cap out. Like it's a person that owns a company by themselves, right? They can only do so much. They can only do so much by themselves. There's only X amount of numbers in a day, so you're limiting yourself. At some point you have to want to grow. Or you don't have to want to grow, but you have to, there's that point. It's the same thing. Being too obscure, too unique, is that you're only going to have a very limited audience. So you're only going to have very limited results. Whereas if you're more open, you're going to have a wide range of results, obviously. So that's kind of bad content. My opinion, of course. Always asking for something in return, right? We know those types of people as well. So you put something out, I want something back from you immediately. Not everything is eye for an eye. You put great content, and marketing is all about educating your audience. It's about building that relationship. If you always ask for something in return, you're not building a relationship. You want something in return, right? That's the first rule of friendship or relationships, is always wanting something in return. So, not a good thing. Put something out, you want to educate. You don't always want to get something back. You're defeating your purpose. It's like what I always say, if you're other than Tom, if you're in business to make money, you're wrong. Money will always come. Right, Tom? Pretending to know your customers' needs. That's another reason to have bad content. Acting like I know what real estate agents want, what you want, what are you looking for. If I think I know without justifying that, that's bad content. It's like inaccurate information, so not good. Know your customers. Marketing 101, right? Well, you establish your target audience. Know your clients. Know your target audience. Know your customers. And again, it's huge in content writing, because if you don't know them, you don't know what to give them, right? We'll talk about that in a little bit. Using the same content as others, we just talked about that. Taking other people's content and doing it. And you'll see there's companies out there, and I won't mention any company names or anything, but they take somebody else's stuff that they do, and they resell it. Here you go. It's different from the franchise model. It's just, here, I'm going to take this, and we're going to sell it out there. Well, what's unique about that? Nothing. Everybody's doing it. So you're limited. You're limited on what you can provide. Because not every client is the same. Everybody has different goals, different objectives. So if you're taking something that's made for one audience and you're constantly giving it out to everybody, one size doesn't fit all. Your target audience, even though your target audience is your target, it's in your range, each one of those clients on there are going to be different. They're going to want and need different things. So you have to keep that in mind. All right, so bad content. Any questions on bad content? Does anybody here put any bad content out? Right. You raise your hand. What is good content? What are some examples? We went over ugly content, we went over bad content. What is some good content? Honesty. Okay. That's a trait of good content. What actually would be good content? An example of good content. If you always have bad, you always have the good, right? So it would be the opposite. Go ahead.
Yes, testimonials, I was saying earlier.
Testimonials is a form of content, but it's not what I'm considering good content. Like an example of good content, I mean, it's very easy. It's content that answers questions or solves problems of your audience. Very simple. That's what people are looking for. If you know, if I know that Tom is looking for ways, and I'm only picking on Tom who's in the front row, if I know he's looking for ways, one of his pain points, one of his challenges is to get people looking at houses in the wintertime, how can I help Tom? Because I want Tom's business. I want Tom to come to me for all the social media. I want Tom to come to me for his marketing. So how do I get that problem solved for Tom? Right? How do I do that? I'm going to put out good content. That's what we're going to talk about that in a little bit, is that process of how to get there. But the thing that immediately comes to my mind is using technology, right? If I can't get out to view a house because we have a snowstorm or it's cold like today or whatever it is, I'm going to implement QR codes. You're going to have a walkthrough of the house. You're going to take that, you're going to have that video. We create a QR code, put it on your website or send it out via email. Boop, I scan that QR code. Now I got a 360 of the internal part of that house. That came off the top of my head. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? I know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, but that's an example of how I can help. And so what I would do, excuse me, I would write an article on what are QR codes. I'd write a follow-up article, how to use QR codes in the real estate industry. You see what I'm saying? These are things that I know I can solve a problem for Tom. So I would put that stuff out. Maybe I'd put some Facebook posts out, some other information. Hey, did you know that you can customize your QR code to your brand's identity and colors? You know, all that stuff. It's answering his questions, it's nurturing him, it's giving him information that he needs, that he wants, and it's naturally going to build that bond. It's naturally going to build that relationship. Do you agree? So that's great content. That is how you put good content out there. The other good content, the other element of good content is we all read articles, right? Whether it's in a newspaper or somebody put articles out, but what does most of those articles miss? They tell you, great story, right? Great articles are a great story, they invoke emotion. But at the end, what do they forget?
Call to action.
Call to action is one part of it, it's a piece of it, yes. It's that next steps. Now that I've read this, it's great, what do I do next? How do I use the information that you gave me? Now, great authors will put that in there. Now that you've read this, now you can go do this, 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 and this. So now I didn't waste my time. I got something out of it, and I can go do something. So that's going to be memorable to me. So that's good content. Any other examples? Anything else you can think of? Remember, putting things out to solve people's problems, to give them answers to the questions that they have. But before you can do that, you have to go back to the beginning, right? And know your audience. Know who they are, know what their pain points are, and know what they're looking for. And then you can be able to put that information out.